Hi everyone, welcome to this video on subdividing. What's that? Well, subdivide does exactly what it sounds like it does. It takes a subcomponent such as a face, edge, or vertex and splits it in half. Now, this is a video you'll use a lot in Blender, so it's really high on the list of videos to memorize really well. In fact, the next 4 or 5 videos are. Now, that said, Subdivide is really an edge-based tool. You can select it through any of the 3 sub-object components, but it does its thing based on edges. Not being aware of that can cause some trouble. So let's look at how that works. First, let's go into edit mode with our default cube. In our left toolbar, we have a subdivide button. However, we can also reach it with the hotkey W. Let's use that. Once we select it, our cube subdivides once, basically creating a new edge perpendicular to all of our selected edges. So, one face, in this case, becomes 4. Now, if we want more faces, we can simply repeat the operation. However, when we do that, notice how many cuts we have now. Repeating the operation will grow our edges exponentially. Our one side becomes 4, 4 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32, etc., etc. So, things can get out of hand fast. Let's undo that and perform our initial subdivision with the W key again. If we look to the left in our toolbar, we can see the initial subdivision operation we performed. Below that, we have a cut selection, defaulted to 1. If we increase that, we can see that we can grow the selection much more slowly. Remember, this operation is based on edges, so increasing it to 2 in the initial operation tells it to make more edges from just that initial edge. Alright, let's go back into object mode and delete our cube using X. With Shift A, let's choose a plane and then hit 7 to go into top view. Now we can also subdivide based on edges and vertices. Let's hit Tab to go back into edit mode and A to deselect everything. Using Control Tab, let's go into Edge mode and select our top and bottom edge. Now if we subdivide, we get a single cut between the edges. Alright, let's undo that. And now using Control Tab, let's choose Vertex mode and select the top 2 vertices. I'll box select them. It's the same thing as selecting that single edge, but you'll see what's going on in a second. If we hit W and subdivide now, we get a single vertex added to split only that edge in half. Now, that's fine if we wanted to move that vertex and create a very specific n-gon shape. Remember, n-gons are any face with more than 4 sides. But be careful about creating floating vertices that don't really have any use. They can really screw things up down the road. Alright, let's undo and go back to our original plane and go into face mode. Let's select our face, hit X, and choose delete face only. That leaves us with our edges and vertices. Now, back to vertex mode, and let's select our top 2 verts. Alright, now let's repeat the same subdivision that we did before on that upper edge. And we get our vertex in the middle. Now, here's another hotkey, 2 of them in fact. Let's box select all of our verts. If we hit F for fill, we create an n-gon within all 5 of the vertices, just like we had before. But let's Control Z to undo that. Now, let's hit Alt plus F and see what happens. Now, Blender fills our verts, but it does its best to create triangles of the geometry. This is often the best way to go, especially for game meshes. Most game engines will create triangles out of your mesh anyway, and it's better just to have the control of building either quads or triangles yourself before you even get to the engine. It's important to note that the fill function will work with lines and vertices as well. But don't worry about that too much right now. We'll get into using that in our Chapter 3 lab. Alright, let's quiz. What is the hotkey to bring up the subdivision operation? Where else is that operation located? Which way of subdividing will cause the divisions to grow exponentially? You can use any of the 3 subobject components to subdivide, but which of them is the operation based in and ultimately controlled by? I hope you did great, and I'll see you in the next video.